there is an opportunity cost. Okay, I have foregone the packet of rice in order to choose the burger. Okay, so these concepts are related to the real world. Okay, they're related to the real world. Economics is about the real world. Also, it's about an individual, myself, a human being. A human being is trying to use his or her limited resources to satisfy some of the unlimited wants by making choices. In making choices, we say that we are making certain rational decisions. We are making certain rational decisions. And when we are making certain rational decisions, there are opportunity costs because we are foregoing good things, right, in order to choose one thing. So that means this is a science that looks at or studies the behavior of a human being. Okay, the behavior of a human being. Now, okay, I'm going to draw something. What I will do is I will draw it and maybe post a picture yes, I will draw it and I'll post a picture in the for the online students. Okay, just bear with me. So now earlier we were discussing about a particular individual. Okay, so this particular individual, from one hand, has some resources, dollars, a house, right? Some kind of resources, labor itself, right? Some kind of limited resources are there. Okay? How this person uses, okay? How this person chooses to use these resources to satisfy wants, right? My burger looking horrendous, a glass of milk, maybe to buy another house, maybe to buy a car, over something else, over a packet of rice. Let's say this is milk, over water. This is a house, let's say a condominium, an apartment, car, let's say over a bike. I really cannot imagine drawing a bike, but yeah, something like this. Okay? When these choices were made, there were certain sacrifices foregone, right? Foregone sacrifices. This we call, right, opportunity cost. Every choice has an opportunity cost. Okay? Can you see? Now this is for an individual. This is for an individual. Let me see if I can point it out again. Let's see. This is the case of the individual. Watch it carefully. Let me try to see what I can do. Now, can you all, the ones who saw it already, can you convert it to the firm? Draw the diagram for the firm. If it was a business firm, right? That's what I'm going to do the next one. Let me try to get the teams on the phone and get you connected. I posted a picture, don't worry. Now you can see the ones who are joining online, okay? First, what I drew was the individual. There is limited resources. Then compared to the wants, that the multiple wants, if you take, these are all the wants, right? All the pictures are wants. He or she will have to make a choice. The burger over rice, the milk over water, the house over an apartment, a car maybe over an electric bike or something like that, right? So everything that he or she chooses has a opportunity cost. So you may draw it. Until you draw, I will just explain to the rest. You see, this is individual. How about the firm? Same goes to the firm. Right? There are different resources. What are they? Land, right? Labor, capital, entrepreneurship. These are some of the resources available but limited. Okay? When they make choices, usually a business firm will be making choices about what? Production, right? Production, what they're going to produce, okay? What inputs to use for what outputs, right? Because these are limited, then they also need to make a choice, okay? They will also be faced with opportunity cost. You see? So, economics, that is why economics is important for you when you're working. Of course, it's important for you in general life, but now we are targeting the working segment, right? Why you're here is to achieve some kind of educational qualification for you to use that in your organization, in your career path. So, it's relevant for the firm as well. And if you take another economic actor, it's going to be relevant for the government as well. relevant for the government as well. So let me see some of the pictures that you drew for the farm. Get the board also sorted out next, otherwise you can't do economics without the board. Okay, right. So yeah, your own drawing you didn't do. Okay, so we have to realize that it's not only the individual. So although we look at the individual behavior in economics, we will also be looking at firms and the government as economic actors, right? So we learned about economic actors also in this case. The ones online, do you have any question? Right? Let me share with you. Next week we will make an arrangement for the board to be visible simultaneously. Just look at the picture. I will open it up for you. Can you all see? For the firm, they have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship over here. You can see my cursor also, right? Then they need to decide what to produce, what inputs to use, what outputs to use. When they are doing that, they have to make a choice. They can't use everything. And with that, they have opportunity cost. The ones online, is it clear to you? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, can you draw that as well? Just give me a minute. Right. So if you're done with that, we can go to the slide. Then we are going to discuss, along with that, there are concepts called production possibility frontiers. Okay. Then there are concepts called positive versus normative economics, you would have heard, and economic systems. We are going to cover all those. And we are going to look at what is the difference between microeconomics, macroeconomics, evolution of economics, like that means classical economic theories. We're not going to go into detail. Neoclassical, Keynesian, some of the basic economic thoughts. Let's look at it. And also economic systems. Now, what I drew there is explained in a technical matter, right? In a technical manner in this. Now, first I want to bring your attention to this one. Have you heard about word clouds? Have you made word clouds in your office, in your organizations? Yes, these are effective ways of doing presentations, communication, these word clouds. So if you take the word cloud for economics, right, what are some of the interrelated words, terms that come into our mind? So the next big one, budget, inflation, right, finances, account. See, this is why I wanted to relate to you all. This is why I used this particular word cloud. Economics is interrelated to what you're doing in your company. Whether it's accounting, finance, you're accounting for their financial records, right? In very basic terms, you're recording the basic financial inflows, outflows, status, right? Asset, liability, status, values. Why are you doing all of that? Why is a company doing these records? Why should a company do? Because there is limited resources. Finance is limited. People like you are limited, right? Their buildings, plant and machinery is limited. So they are interrelated, right? In a very basic way. More than that, now you look at budget, government budget. What do you look at the government budget for any particular reason when you're doing your accounts? Yes or no? Anything that comes directly or indirectly from the budget, can you tell me? Yeah, can somebody tell me? There was one working in the ministerial water board. Somebody was working. Who was that? Yeah. Do you look at the budget for any, when you're doing accounting related, right? You said. Do you look at the budget? Is there anything that comes from the budget for you? Probably water board allocations. There will be a specific budget line item for you all. Can you tell something like that? Report? Anyone in a bank? Financial institute? Corporate sector? Typical corporate sector? Anyone? Company? Yes, there were many, you know. Hands up. Yeah. Where did you say? Okay. What from the budget do you think is relevant? Tax rates. Corporate tax rates, right? What else? Now so many taxes, no, they are introducing. So see, in macroeconomics, what you're learning there is going to come into your economics. Is going to come into your accounting and finance background, right? So this is why I wanted to put this word cloud. Economics is going to be directly impacting you all. That is why you all are studying it and study it with a purpose. So we say economics is the study of how individuals and societies choose to use scarce resources that nature and the previous generations have provided. Right? Who provides these resources to us? The Mother Nature gives us certain resources. Then the previous generation, man-made resources, we are given. Okay, to our hand. Right? Why do we say societies? Why do we say societies? We say societies because it's not only the individuals that we study. Okay? It's an entire society that has individuals, family units, firms, business organizations, government, banks, so many. So when we do a study about how these individuals choose to use their scarce resources, we say that study is called economics, right? The key word is choice, actually, right? And if you look at where does economics fall, now medical sciences will fall under STEM education, right? Technological ICT will fall under STEM education. Medical is a science, okay? Then theater is an art. Sculpture is an art. Okay? Where does economics fall? It's a science, but it's a social science. Why? Because we are studying about the society. The actual lab is society. Studying about the society, so economics falls under social science. Nowadays, we also commonly call it behavioral science. That is why we have behavioral economics. Okay. So the choices that you as individuals, as families make gets converted into societal choices, which is what we are going to study in economics. Then you have to know the difference between micro and macro. Very easy. If you are looking at the individual behavior, okay, forget about industries. If you are looking at individual behavior or individual decision making units, it could be a person, a firm, or a household. Then the decision making unit is only a firm, is only an individual, is only a particular household. Then we call that microeconomics. It can be a particular industry. If I'm analyzing the particular industry for ICT in Sri Lanka, it's not macroeconomics. Okay. If I'm looking at the education in Sri Lanka, it's not macroeconomics. It's a micro. On the other hand, if we look at the aggregates, the entire economy, all the portions of GDP put together, agriculture, services, industries put together, if I'm doing an analysis, then I call it macro. So studying individual behavior is micro. Studying the aggregates or examining the economic behavior of the aggregates like income, employment, output is called macroeconomic. So as simple as that. Now you know what is the difference between those. Now in the exam, you will not be asked to directly define it. You will be given a statement, right? And then you will be asked to identify whether that statement falls into microeconomics or macroeconomics. Okay, now write this down, everybody. The ones who are online, can you hear me? Let's see. The ones who are online. So can you see my screen, those who are online? Just give me a minute, don't take it down yet. The ones who are online, can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Can you see my first statement? The government carries out an economic analysis on the gem and mining industry in Ratnapura district. You all. Okay, write it down. The government carries out an economic analysis on the gem and mining industry in Ratnapura district. The overall national income, second one, the overall national income has declined by 2% in the year of 2021. There has been an upward trend in the agriculture and service sector employment in Sri Lanka in the year 2020 amidst a pandemic. Fourth one, education as a sector has had its fallback from 2020 to 2022 in overall Sri Lanka. The average prices of automobiles have tripled from 2019 to 2022, crashing the entire industry. Finance. Identify the above statements fall into microeconomics or macroeconomics, and provide reasons. And provide reasons. Get into pairs and discuss this. Okay. So for the ones who are all online, you all can speak. I will speak amongst the group. I'm going to like really reduce my volume so that the class will not get disturbed. So you need to work within the online class. Okay. Do you agree? Please discuss. Okay. Can somebody speak now and say yes? Fernando, are you there? Sandruan, are you there? Sandruan, are you there? Janaka, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Try speaking again. Janaka, say hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Speaking.
Okay. You all can discuss amongst the class now. Your friends will not get disturbed.
Okay, ma'am.
You're given around 10 minutes. Discuss.
Sure.
I want to see you all interacting.
Yeah, definitely.
The ones in the online classroom, are you all done? Shall we discuss? Shall we discuss? Okay, so we have Chandrakanti with us. Are you there? Are you there with us?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, let's take the first sentence.
The government carries out the economic. It is the individual behavior.
It's a-
Therefore, it's a microeconomy.
Okay, right. Give me reasons. Some more reasons for it.
Uh,
Very specific reason. Gem and mining industry is only one industry. Okay.
yeah.
More than that, location-wise also, Ratnapura district is only one particular
One.
district amongst all other districts that are doing gem and mining. Okay, right. So good.
Okay.
Thank you. That means it is microeconomics. Then, Fernando, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What do you think about the second one? The overall national income. Yes. What do you think about that? Read it out. Fernando.
The overall national income is declined by 2021.
What is it?
It's income decrease compared to previous year.
Yes. Is it microeconomics or macroeconomics?
Macroeconomic.
Yes. Why is that?
It's covering a larger spectrum.
Is it just covering larger spectrum? You have to say it covers something aggregate. What is it? Overall national income. The key is in overall national income. Here the key is gem and mining industry and Ratnapura. Okay, okay. Thank you, Fernando. Right. Now from here, do we have with us WCD Pereira? WCD Pereira. Yes. Third one. Read it out loud because they also have to hear now. It's macroeconomics. Right. How can I call you? Put your name again. Chamitri. Yes. Chamitri, why do you say macroeconomics? Now, this is a little bit of a small issue, right? Macroeconomics. Then do we have Sandarwani? Who is Sandarwani? What do you think this is? Why do you say it's microeconomics? Because it's agriculture and service sector. What is missing? Now for this, we have to have some kind of economic background. We need to have, this is not directly put through. This is our national income or output. I'm going to comment on this. This is coming from our output. When we are measuring GDP, there are three key sectors we consider. What are they? Right? Agriculture.
Service.
Service. What's the other one? Industrial sector is missing. when you do, don't worry about it now. When you cover national income, you will have that background. Okay. So you're not wrong, right? Because you thought that agriculture and service are the only two sectors. That's what you assume. But when you do geometry, the national income, you will learn that our overall income includes not only these two, but three. We have three key structural components. Okay. So questions might come in this form also. Okay. So because we have all three and industrial is missing, right? Although it says in Sri Lanka, the key is that agriculture and service sector only is considered here. One main sector is missing. So we have to consider it as microeconomics. Although it's aggregates for agriculture, service, right? Employment, there's one missing. And another one here, employment, right? We are referring to employment. But employment also, if we take as an aggregate, for all three sectors, it will be macroeconomics. Because in your slide, you remember, income, employment, output, right? It could be related to income, employment generation, output as for the entire nation. Okay, right. Then do we have with us Fauzan? Yes, Fauzan. Yes, read out the statement.
Education as a sector has had its fallback from 2020.
Yes.
From 2022 crash. Overall figure.
Yeah. What is the key word here?
Education as a sector.
Yeah. Education. Only education. There is no health care, right? There is no other segments. Education, if you consider as a service, it's only one part of the service sector. So easy as that. Then let's go for somebody who's online. Who, Gonalagoda, are you there? Gonalagoda, are you there with us?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, how about the next sentence?
I think it's microeconomics, as since it's talk about only the automobile service.
Yes. Very good. Average prices of automobiles, right? In the automobile industry, we are speaking of the average prices, right? It's not aggregate economics, right? It's not, automobiles does not equal the overall output of a country. So as easy as that. Good. So this is how we will question you. I will let this.
Hi, ma'am. Sorry
Yes.
for bothering.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Ask.
could you please explain again third and fourth questions a little bit more clarity get?
Sure. Third and fourth, right? And your name
Yes.
is, you are Janaka.
Janaka.
Okay. So third and fourth, these two. Third one, very tricky one, right? It is microeconomics. Why? I will show you the slide again. I'll bring what is in the slide down to this. In the slide, macroeconomics means the branch of economics that examines the economic behavior of aggregates in income, employment, output. Okay. Income, it could be in terms of income, employment, output. When we take national output of an economy, if we go by the sectoral composition, right, you go to the central bank report, right, and see the sectoral composition, if we are taking overall output for a country, it includes 3 sectors: agriculture, service, and industrial. Okay, Janaka. So, in this, we are only mentioning agriculture and service sector, and industries are missing. So, that means you can't say it's about overall output. Okay, or overall employment. You can't say that. That is why it falls under microeconomics. A little tricky. Fourth one, education only is just one sector in the economy. Right? It falls under services, right? It's only one sector. We have multiple other sectors. When you take the economy, we have healthcare sector, we have the banking and insurance, right? So why you would have got this mixed up is, in your previous economics background, you would have sometimes slipped about the information about overall aggregate income or output. That is why you may be slightly confused. So when you do national income accounts, you will polish up on that, on those things. Okay, I just want to show you that these things are interrelated. Okay, I will upload this to the LMS as an activity. Are you clear now? Janaka, are you clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Thanks for that.
Okay.
It's okay now.
Right. You're welcome. So we will go back to the slide. What time do you all need a break? 3 o'clock is fine. Or 3:15 even. So these key concepts of economics you have to know. I'm not now, these slides are for you to read through and remember. I'm not going to go through each and every word. So scarcity, we discussed that it's the main problem in economics, right? It's the main problem. It's about limited scarce resources compared to unlimited wants. Okay. Whatever I have put here in between, you can read through for your better understanding. Okay. Right. Next one, choice. Starting with the individuals, because of that issue that we covered, right? Limited resources, unlimited wants, people need to make a choice. They need to choose among the wants that they are going to satisfy, right? Because of that, there arises choice. Again, read through whatever I have given here. Oh, very important. You would have done this for A-level economics if you covered. Because of scarcity and because of choice in an economy, in an overall economy, there are 3 questions that we need to ask. Okay. And this may be relevant for a firm also. Okay. What should be produced? Now coming into that firm level, not individual. What are we going to produce? How should goods and services be produced? How should we produce it? And for whom to produce? These are fundamental questions that arises in an economy when we have the problem scarcity. Okay. So that is also nicely explained here. This I want to explain some of it. So what should be produced? In an economy, we have land, labor, capital and things like that. Using these economic resources, right? What do we produce? And when we choose what do we produce, what do we give up? Now, for example, if we want to invest more on education in a country, do we cut back on the healthcare services? Things like that. Those kind of decisions will have to be made. So what to produce over what? What to produce, on the other hand, what to sacrifice. Also, you need to think through. How are we going to do that, right? If you're going to invest in education, What is the process going to be like? Is it primary? Is it secondary? Are you going to invest more on teachers or more on buildings and equipment? How are you going to produce this? Using what resources? Are we going to use the labor resources or are we going to use the financial resources? So who should the goods and services in an economy be produced? Right? That's very important. Are we going to produce it for certain individuals, low income earners? Are we going to invest in the government sector education, private sector education? If it's government sector education, are we going to invest in the rural remote areas? Does that mean we're investing on the low income earners? Right? Or are we going to invest on the private sector? Right? For whom should the goods and services be provided to, given to? Is it everybody? Are we going to ration and give to everybody? So these are some of the basic questions that will arise in an economy when we make choices. Okay, now go for a break and come because production possibility frontiers will take long. Take a 20-minute break and come back by 3:15. Yeah, 3:15 is okay. Fish roti veg roti එක කට් කරලා දාලා මට කියනවාද කීයද මේ අනේ බෑග් එක දාලා කියන්න හොඳේ රත් කරලා thank you. You all also take a break then, okay? Those who are online, can you hear me? Can you see me? Are you all back?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
ma'am.
all right. Let's get back to the lecture. You all can see the slides as well. Production possibility frontiers, can you see? Those who are online?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. So
Yes, we can
now,
see.
okay, thank you. Now we are going into some of the most commonly discussed graphical illustrations in economics, right? Graphical illustrations means without having graphs, in this case, we cannot understand the concept of production possibility frontier. Some of you would have learned about production possibility frontiers as something else. PPCs. What are they? What does that mean? Production possibility curve. So write down in your notes, right? Production possibility frontier is also called as production possibility curve. If you see that also, it's the same thing. Now, these production possibility curves or frontiers are used to represent in a very basic model format about the scarcity, choice, and trade-offs we make between certain choices. Trade-off, right? I have two things in my hand. Either I can spend on my education or I can spend on my health care. I don't have money to spend on both in maximum level. So if I chose more of education, I am trading off what I'm going to spend on healthcare. Trading off. So I'm going to show you in the using the production possibility frontier how trade-off is represented. Then also I will show you how efficiency is represented, right, in an economy, and how opportunity cost or an economic growth is represented in a production possibility frontier. Let us start with the concepts of efficiency. In economics, usually we speak of two different kinds of efficiency: allocative efficiency versus productive efficiency. These two circles that are there. Now, what does allocative efficiency means? If the resources are allocated to the production of goods and services, which are needed by the people, right? The most important thing is what the people want the most. If we are producing that for the people, right, we say we are getting the best mix. So, okay, now I'm a firm, you all are the people or you all are the society. You all say you want more education, but I say I want to invest more on technology, technological advancements. Now, in our economy, if this was our economy, if I spend more on technology, is it allocatively efficient? If I use the resources for technology, tell me, you're the society, I am a firm. You want education, I want more technological advancements. I'm using the resources for technological advancements. Is it in this economy allocatively efficient? No. Why? What the people need and want is education. If I invest on education, we say that that economy is allocatively efficient. Simple as that. Then there is another one called the productive efficiency. Now, the production has to be carried out in terms of the lowest cost, right? education is what you want. Okay. I can either train the teachers in Sri Lanka using Sri Lankan resources for education. Or I can send them on a nice tour to UK, give them training there, right? Budget will be 10 times higher. Is it the least cost one? So for me to spend on what you like, right, which is allocative efficiency, and also to be productively efficient, I have to make sure that I use the least cost one. Okay? Now, this is a PPF diagram. Okay? Anything that looks like this is a PPF, production possibility frontier. All of these are production possibility frontiers. Just let me explain what a production possibility frontier looks like. It will have two types of production of goods on two sides. Okay? Like this. Quantity of output 1, quantity of output 2. Quantity of butter, quantity of guns produced. This can also be consumption goods, capital goods. So two different types of products are there. It's a very simple model. In an economy, you don't only produce guns and butter, no. But it's a small, simple model for us to understand the concept. Okay. So now in this case, pizzas and robos. Consumption, one consumption good, one capital good. Okay. So this production possibility curve, right, will have points. How are you going to interpret? At point A, we wish to produce 0 pizzas versus 10,000, since it's in thousands, 10,000 robos, right? In this E extreme, we opt to produce 0 robos and so 400,000 pizzas. D. Can somebody tell me what is the combination in D? Chandlakanti, are you there? What's the combination in D?
We produce 300,000 pizzas and 4,000 robots.
Very good, right? Likewise. Then what about point C? Madhuvansha? Yes, Madhuvansha. What do you think about point C? How to read it out?
7,000 and
200,000 pizzas. Okay. So that's how you read the production possibility frontier. We all know that. Now, I said we have allocative efficiency, productive efficiency. We want to represent it in this graph. How do we do that? Any point on the production possibility frontier is productively efficient. If we are on this, any of these points are desirable by the people. Okay? Any point within the frontier, right? That means inside the frontier. That means this, let me see if I can color it. No. Okay, this doesn't have. So anything in this area inside the frontier, right, we say is productively inefficient, not inefficient. Given the resources for us, it is not productively inefficient. Okay? We cannot really represent the cost here, right? Only the output is given here. That we have to say separately. Talk about the least cost option. So there are assumptions. In economics, we use a lot of assumptions. In this case, when we discuss production possibility frontiers, There are now few assumptions. First thing, only 2 goods are produced in this. Right? Only 2 goods we can represent. We can't represent all the goods. Then, all resources, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, or any other resources that we use, we assume that are used to produce these 2 goods. Okay? That is also in normal context. That's not the case. We don't only produce pizzas and robots with all resources, all existing. But here we assume. We say we are trying to achieve productive efficiency in the PPF. And at one given point of time, we are talking about one given point of time, the resources that we have here, we assume that they are fixed and they are not changing. And also, we assume that the technology doesn't change. If technology changes, this context will be different. So remember these key assumptions. Production possibility, the concepts that I'm going to discuss now, are going to be based on these assumptions. Do you have any questions related to these assumptions so far? No. Okay, right. Now let's look at how the PPF is in nature, bowed out, right? Let me see if I can use the one. Okay, instead of the board, I will use this for everyone. Okay, let's look at this. If we are taking this, let's look at 2 of these. This is one. This is another. Okay. Look at the shape of the curve. Right? This one, panel A, is bowed outwards. Okay? This B panel is bowed inwards. Okay? Production possibility frontier, PPF, will in most scenarios be bowed out in A position, right? So this is the PPF original nature or the shape. Okay. Now there is a reason for that. I told you from the PPF we are representing what? Economic concepts. Scarcity, choice, opportunity cost, trade-off, efficiency. Opportunity cost is the reason for the bowed out PPF. Why? What is the reason for it to be in a bowed out nature? In very general, as we keep on, let me show you. As we keep on increasing the consumption of pizzas, okay, A to B, we are increasing 0 to 100,000 pizzas. We are giving up 10,000 to 9,000 robots, right? 1,000 robots we are giving up to achieve 100,000 pizzas. So similarly, B to C, we are giving up something of robots to achieve pizza. So there is an opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is increasing as we go down this. path. As we go along, moving from one product to another, the opportunity cost is increasing. First, we are giving up 1,000, next 2,000, 3,000, like that opportunity cost is increasing. That is the reason, as more pizzas are produced, the opportunity cost of pizzas in terms of robots sacrificed increases. Okay, so if somebody asks you, giving a graph and ask what is the reason for this shape, bowed out shape, the shape is bowed out, what is the reason, you have to say, because the opportunity cost of producing more pizzas in terms of sacrificing robots is more high. Is that clear? Okay, you all have all learned these things, huh? So now if you take points, we can have a point outside, right? D. We can have a point inside. We can have a point within the blue area. Perfectly, people would prefer to have a point on the PPF. Outside the PPF is much more desirable, but we can't achieve. Why is that? Scarcity. Because of scarcity, we cannot achieve D. We can achieve B. Can we achieve E? We can achieve E, but it's not the most productively efficient one. It's not efficient. Using these resources, you can produce B point, much more. You can produce A point, C point, not at E. We are not at fullest efficiency there. Then, production possibility frontiers, along with the increment of resources in an economy, in some way, can shift outwards. It's possible, right? This is a shift in the production possibility frontier, right? Now, let's say I want to go to growth along with that. Growth means, now if you want to represent a particular simple economy's growth means growth, that means the production possibility frontier has to shift to the right. Entire curve has to shift to the right. Now this too, I want to show you. Look at this. This growth will depend on, right, the choices we make today, right? The choice that we make today to sacrifice current consumption will result in a capital improvement today, which means there'll be a growth tomorrow. Now I know it's a little difficult to understand. Now let's be very simple. Think about industrial robots, right, versus pizza. If we eat pizzas, what happens to the economy? Only the pizza companies will benefit, right? If we produce industrial robots, what will happen? Industrial robots means you would have seen, you know, not these funny robots assisting people and families, but you know, in assembly sites, you have two hands bringing in the wheels, then you have the other part coming in and fixing onto the body engine is fixed from another industrial robot, then the steering wheel by another one, right? Assembly line in robots, or you know, you have an entire car wash industrially done by a robot. What are these things doing? Our industrial sector is going to benefit or not? Is it a capital good or a consumption good? Capital good. We know by instinct in economics, when there are investments done on capital goods, it's going to benefit in the long run. There'll be a cost, but it's going to benefit. It's going to increase our production more, not like us sitting and eating the pizza and that's it. Maybe we are getting fatter and fatter, that's it. And pizza company may benefit. right? But if you are investing on capital goods like industrial robots, then there is potential for that economy to grow, for that industry to go, for that industry to contribute to the GDP. So today, if we decide to reduce on the consumption of consumption goods and invest more of our resources on the capital goods, we will have a bigger growth in the future. Okay, right? Rather than investing in more consumption goods and less capital goods compared. You understand? So, if today we consume, right? Now look at these 2 points. 7, if we consume 7,000, not consume, produce 7,000 units of robots against 200,000 pizzas. I'm not saying 0 pizzas, we need to eat also, right? 200,000 pizzas. Then tomorrow in the future, we have a better dark blue line growth, right? Right, so we are comparing 1998 versus 2009. Okay, sometime today we are producing more capital goods versus less of consumer. But if we produce here only 3,000 industrial robots and 350,000 pizzas, then our growth will only be this light blue line. Can you draw these 2 graphs separately, quickly, right? Otherwise, it will be difficult to understand. So you draw 1 point. This point you can call it A. If we produce at A, we have a much larger change. Draw them separately. Okay, done. I hope you correctly indicated. In one BPF, you have to have the point A, this point A along with the darker blue big distance. Then point B with less distance. Okay, shift. Everybody done? Everyone online, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, right. Now here is a growth shown in this. Now let's learn about opportunity cost. It's the next best alternative that we have to forego or give up when we make a choice. And usually in economics, we try to quantify opportunity cost as much as possible. Okay. When people make a choice, let's say to spend 1,000 rupees on this, how much have I foregone in terms of the benefit for what we have sacrificed? Okay. So now I told you there's a trade-off. Look at this. Now, if you take a society's choice for resource maintenance, quantity of let's say, hours spent on maintaining resources versus using them for current production. For example, if we have a machine here, right, that has been used for about 2-3 years, right, either we can at some point use it for maintenance, right? We can maintain it at this point of hour, or we can use it for production. Now, at B point, we use the most of the time to do the maintenance against, right, less time for current production. We can either do that, or more time for current production versus less time for resource maintenance. Now, depending on this choice that we make, we have to make a trade-off. Either I can't do both together, I can't maintain it in the same hour while use it for current production. Can I do that? No, current production has to stop when I start using this for maintenance purposes. Right, when I do repairs and maintenance for the machine. Trade-off. Okay, you can't do both together. Very, very easy to understand. You have a machine. Let's say the machine is making coffee, right? You all know coffee machine. Either I make the Nescafe or I stop making the Nescafe. I clean it, I put the water, refill Nescafe, refill sugar, clean the water dripping pipe. Either I use it for that time for maintenance or so you have a trade-off. How many can I use 10 minutes to maintain efficiently and the rest of the 50 minutes to produce? Okay, you are traded off both. Okay, right. So that's called trade-off. This is a case study. Read through when you have time. Now, we are going to look at some of the economic thought concepts, historical. As I told you, you would have heard about classical economics, pre-classical economics, right? Have you heard about some of the Greek economists, right? The Greek, then have you heard about some of these Kautilya, Chanakya. In India, you would have heard, right? These are Greek, Christian, Muslim writers who are their pre-classical period. Okay, long time ago. That means before 1750. They had basic thoughts about economics. Then there was mercantilism when people started getting into ships and coming into other countries, right? Columbus and all, they got into ships and came into other countries, and then there was trading. In Sri Lanka, we had Arabs coming in, right? We had during our ancient times, we had some Indians coming, Chinese coming in, and trading with us. You would have heard like in Dhammakola Patuna and all, there was trading, you would have heard, right? Yeah. So those period, we used to have very ancient basic types of economic thought. Then, along with the advancement of education, we came into the classical economics period from around 1750 to 1870 around. This is where the price or the invisible hand concept came. Then this land, labor, the rent for land, along with those, slavery. You would have seen in movies and Netflix, with slavery. Then the came people wanted to get a price for their labor, right? Those concepts came. Feudal lords and peasants. Those concepts came. Population. Then Marxist ideas, Karl Marx ideas came, right? After that, there was a period of neoclassical, right? 1870 to 1930. And then there were many criticisms of these. Now we are in the then in the mid 20th century, we had Keynesian, neoclassical, things like that. These are some of the thoughts. Read through. This is for your reading. This case study read through, this read through. And I have included some basic schools of thought for you to read and understand. Classical school, neoclassical. Here I have put the links for you because we are just revising. We're not going to go into detail. Neoclassical, new classical, Keynesian, and here a nice map I have put. But we are going to look into this economic system. So that is homework. Self-study hours that your outline had, you have to do it and come, okay? Because it's examinable, right? But I'm not going to cover, right? We are not going to have time to cover everything, so I've included in the slides. And it's not too much of theoretical ones for you to dig down and get complicated. Now we have different economic systems we used to have. One type is a command economy, right? You would have heard about the Soviet Union, right? So Soviet Union, right, that collapsed. Where the government or the central government or the central authority took the decisions for the people, right? In a command economy, we say the central government directly or indirectly sets the targets for the economy. Output of the economy, income of the economy, prices of the economy. For all of those things, the command economy sets. That means the government sets everything. Government involvement is very high in a command economy. So, in the command economy, who will answer these questions? Government will decide what to produce. Are we producing rice for all, wheat flour for all, bread for all? Okay, half wheat flour, half rice for all. Are we not giving milk to people? Are we allowing meat to be produced? Government will decide. How should goods be produced? Is the private sector producing or the government sector? Most likely, government sector, state-owned enterprises will produce. Right? They will have the control over the resources. For whom to produce? Government will decide. Are we going to ration these goods and services and give to families depending on how many family members and the age? Government can decide. So if these fundamental economic questions are decided by the government itself, or we say the central decision making authority, then it's a command economy. We don't have those command economies today, right? Complete command economies are not there. They have a central planning authority or the body to decide all of these things. They used to have the Soviet Union, but not anymore. The other extreme of a command economy is a laissez-faire economy, or we can call it the free market economy. That means we have the market forces, demand and supply. We let the market forces to just operate on its own. Okay? Whoever who wants to buy will buy at the price that they want. Whoever who wants to sell will sell at the price that they want to sell. So we let the price decide things. Government plays a laissez-faire role. Government does not directly get involved. Now, this is also one extreme. Sometimes no regulation means there may not be social welfare. If there is income inequality in a society, if there is no government regulation, we are in trouble. Then there are mixed systems, which is the most common system. Right? We have a little bit of government influence, regulation. We have a little bit of market, right? Free market. Both mixing together, economic systems are there. Now I have a question. What type of economic system is Sri Lanka facing? Write down your answer and why. What type of economic system exists in Sri Lanka? Let me type it out. Why do you say so? Again, you can discuss many reasons with your friends. This is the question in blue. Those parties who are online, you all can discuss amongst yourself. I will reduce the volume. Can you all hear me? What type of economic system exists in Sri Lanka? Why do you say so? Janaka, and then can you all hear me? Fernando? Are you all there? Are you all there?
Yeah.
Okay, discuss amongst yourselves, please, the answer. Those who are online, are you done? What type of system do we have, Kali, in our country, in Sri Lanka? Can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am. We can hear.
Yes. What kind of system, Janaka, did you all discuss that we are having in Sri Lanka?
I think it's a mixed economy.
Yes, mixed economy. Why?
Because government sector as well as private sector involving to provide the services and the all the Sri Lankan people.
Okay, right. Good. That's one. Chandruan, anything to be added on? Chandruan, are you there with us? No. Chandrakanti, what do you think?
In Sri Lanka, we have mixed system. Private sector and government sector both involved in economic, but still the government sector play the major role.
Hmm?
As an example, regarding agricultural industry, even many private sector involved in the industry, government has the power to control prices.
Okay, good. Right. Then we have with us Pushpik. Yes. What economic system do you think that we are in? Jayatusa, Jayasuta. Oh, okay. No, you have answered now. Francisco? Yes. What system do you think we have? Why?
The company allows to make the pricing decision while government is control over the have the control over some areas like control prices, control over the quantity.
Okay. Okay. Right. So when you all were discussing, you all also brought up very important points. I think Janaka brought up this point, resource ownership, right? If resource ownership is combined in terms of some resources, the government owns in Sri Lanka, right? There's government property. Some resources the private sector owns, right? Mixed of resource ownership. Government doesn't earn about 90% resources. No, there is private ownership of resources as well in Sri Lanka. Then who decides what to produce? Both the private sector. Some private sector produce. Some the government sector produces. Right, electricity. They mainly get involved. Right? That's why they're giving us power cuts. They are 90%. They are involved unless and otherwise there's those small private sector plants, power plants. But they are insignificant, and the solar that is not connected to that whether it's connected or not, private. So there are things that the government does the production, and there are things that the private sector produces. Same thing. They will not tell the resource owners how to produce and to whom to produce will not be told by the government. Okay? But some, for social welfare purposes, they will tell that certain items will be produced for certain underprivileged, not underprivileged, but for social welfare. Easily taking, the government provides education and healthcare free of charge. Right? Whoever who cannot afford can get free education, can get free healthcare services in Sri Lanka. Then one major sector is this whole newborns, right? If they don't have the basic nutrition, at least the Triposha is given. If they cannot afford private sector injections, up until I think 9 years of age, right, there is free vaccination. You don't have to have money to get the basic vaccinations. The government provides all. Okay? And they even provide transfers to people who cannot, like for senior citizens, for marginalized groups, for disabled groups, right? Then the Samurti for low income, right? The government provides. So social welfare is balanced also to a certain extent. Right, good. Now, yeah.